Well, hello and welcome. Today I'm going to be painting another snowy painting. This is it's actually based on a photo that I took while skiing, because I've been feeling like I need to get out more in order to have, some good inspiration, and just, exercise is good in the winter. So I'm going to work from a photo because I have it, it's for reference for details and things like that, but I'm going to try to also bring some of the feeling of being there into it, and not try to stick too closely to it. I think, I look at these pictures that I took, and first of all, I don't think that they're particularly great photos from like a photography standpoint, but also I just don't think that they really have the sense of being there and the like sort of bigness of being on a mountain. So I'm gonna try and bring that to it, and not worry about copying too much, but we'll see. I may end up sticking to it, but it's something I have in mind, at least as I get started. So for this, I am going to be working on a canvas. I think that, again, for mountains lately, I've been liking working on canvas just because I feel like I can get a lot more atmosphere, just a little bit of a softer look as the distance fades away. So that's why I'm choosing that for this one. I've got some really lovely different sort of layering and transparency with the tree trunks and the snow and the fog and clouds. Hope I'll be able to put something nice together from it. So I'm going to start by mixing up a couple of colors. I'm going to keep these two a little closer together than what I've been doing in my sort of layout colors. I'm going to do one of them's going to be a light blue, and the other one I hadn't quite decided. I was thinking either I think I'm going to go kind of a warm brown purple color. Nothing too saturated though. I think I'm going to keep this one. This one will be a little bit less bright and colorful, at least to start. I may pick out some bright colors and kind of pop those in at the end, but I'm gonna keep it kind of muted for now. I want to really work on trying to get the depth between these different sort of ridges, which don't show as well in the photo as I kind of felt them while I was there. So I'm gonna try and maybe accentuate that a little bit, just through some different color progressions. So yeah, okay. So light blue and a sort of brown purple. So top up a couple colors. I'm gonna use some alizarin crimson. I'm thinking that maybe like alizarin and burnt umber for my purple, and I may even add a little bit of white into that one. And for my light blue, I think I'll go just a little bit of cobalt into some white, and I may even put a little bit of brown into that too. Maybe a little bit of just a little umber. I want to keep these values a little closer together than what I've been doing before. Kind of work out of the middle. Yeah, I think we'll try that. Some more white out of here. This very gunky can. It's lately driving me a little crazy. It's good. It's got a lot of paint in it, but you can see it's like a little, it's like a little cavern. All right. Let's put some white Yeah, start with this white and cobalt. So we picked up a little bit already. A little bit there. I really don't want the saturation on this to be too strong, though. Actually, this is fairly good. I never really use this knife for mixing. Might be a good one. It's got these little teeth. Actually, really never use this knife for painting. I grabbed it because it was clean. Maybe almost thinking just a little touch of phthalo. As much as I thought I wanted a little dull. I'm kind of changing my mind just a little. We'll still keep it too. Keep it a little quieter. Almost go. Still tempted to go a little darker even. Yeah, let's throw some more cobalt in. And just go for it. So one thing that's funny is that different pigments, I guess, have different sort of particle sizes. So when they get ground to be paints, they'll all act a little bit different when they're mixed. I feel like cobalt, I'd have to look this up because I don't know for sure, but I'm going to suspect that one maybe has a bigger particle size. I'll put a subtitle in and tell you if I'm right or wrong. I feel like it always mixes kind of chunky at first, and then once you work it a little bit, it all kind of works out. But it's something like phthalo blue always kind of almost feels like a dye when you put it in, where it's like it just mixes in kind of more easily. I don't know. It's just a feel thing. I don't know if it really matters too much, other than you kind of need to start to learn what to expect, I guess. All right, so I've got that. Then I'm gonna wipe this off because I think I want to go a little lighter than I normally would on this. I'm gonna grab some alizarin, grab some umber. Let that white stay in there. This might still be too saturated. I think it is. So I'm gonna bring that in a little bit less. So I'm kind of at an orange purple, and I guess actually a yellow. I don't know. It's kind of, let's see. Maybe green. Maybe a little bit of green. It's gonna make it darker too, though. It's a little trickier actually when you're trying to mix more muted colors. I think there's always a lot more ways to get there, because ultimately you're kind of just aiming for mud, but let's see, how's that feel? Maybe a little bluer even. Grab some of this cobalt. Let's try that. Alright. So I'll go ahead and add a little bit of my solvent. This is lavender spike oil. I've been really liking. It's nice because it's not irritating. I feel like anything that is less irritating is a good direction to go in, right? So mix that in a little bit. Gonna get some linseed oil in here too, but I figure it can't hurt to start blending this in. This is gonna be pretty liquidy. Just trying to get a sense of the color. And the solvent actually helps it mix a little bit better. Just because the paint's thinner, so it moves around a little nicer. A little bit. This linseed oil, just using my dropper. It seems to work pretty well. Put a drop in there, put a drop in there. Get a little thinner to clean out the dropper, and that works. But I'm excited for this painting. I feel like I like prefer to work from pictures that I've taken, just because I think that extra experience of like having been there, having like felt the air and the light and the sound. I don't know. I don't know. A lot of times I'm not like sort of consciously thinking about it, but I like having that extra background information to kind of, I don't know, factor in a little bit. I don't know. Like I said, it's not like a conscious thing. It's just kind of, it does make a difference, I think. So, get that one mixed up. And that one. But obviously it takes a little bit more time, effort, and luck to do all my own photography, so sometimes I just benefit from the generosity of other photographers on the internet, and that's always great too. It's gonna be a nice subtle color. Been thinking a little bit about spring and just kind of getting outside and doing more outdoor painting though. Gotta figure that out. Sometimes I think it's easier to just run outside with a camera and snap some photos than to lug all my painting stuff out with me. And then I have the benefit of the light not changing and the weather not changing. But it is really fun. It's a fun experience to paint outside too. Alright. Let's try this out. For this one I'm going to start with my lighter color. Yeah, maybe I might just, I may pop a couple bits of dark on here first, just to start outlining, but I'm not going to go really wet with them. I'm just going to kind of use it as a way to start thinking about it. I think what I really was attracted to with this image is kind of all these different like pathways you can see. Obviously some from the trails. Some just from kind of visual planes. Okay, that's good. Just to start having something going on here. So now my goal is to just cover the whole canvas and get things kind of in the right overall place. But really, it's just about getting a layer of paint down. I had done these before where I was just doing sort of a one color background, and that worked actually quite well. And then I just thought, well, if I'm going to be painting it, I might as well see what I can do with it anyway. So the idea here is just a very quick layer, knowing that I could have just done it in one color, but I can do two, so nothing wrong with that. Just kind of sketched in a structure, and then I'm actually going to go over this and just let this sort of block in, stay, but these peaks back here are very light. There's so much coming through here that I don't want them to be very dark. I want them to have this sort of faded sunlit look. Some of the brightest areas I'll end up bringing out even brighter later, but for now, it's just a quick get the light on it. The other thing about blocking it in with a couple of colors is just kind of gives you a chance to check your composition. A lot of times, it can be a good thing to do like a thumbnail sketch. Obviously, since I took this picture, I had a certain amount of control over how I wanted it framed anyway, which is ideal. But doing this kind of two color blocking kind of gives you a chance to just kind of see how the weight of it's gonna feel. I've got kind of an interesting setup here. I've got a lot of dark on the white side, and then some different things kind of coming in on the right. kind of doing some stuff with brush strokes. I don't know. They might end up being useful. Thinking about kind of the contour and the trees. But also trying not to have any really thick paint here either. I don't want to have anything too difficult to kind of go over later. There we go. That's very good. Couple of little blobs in there. Hold on. Get those blobs out of my snow. If I want blobs, I'll put them in later. There we go. I think that, see, it's early, but I've already got a feel for it that feels right. It's got kind of the atmosphere. Yeah, it really didn't take me any longer than putting down the one coat there, so yeah, it's kind of fun. I think these colors are going to work out pretty well. Try to make some decisions about what I might have for some focal points in this as well. I think there's these like tree lines here that I think are very cool because they're very sharp and contrasty. I think that I'll be able to get some nice shapes in there. Then I've got a little chairlift going across, but only the lower part of it. I don't have the upper part of it. I don't think. Maybe I do have the upper part of it. It's really faint. It is. It goes up there. Okay. Yeah, maybe I'll try and put that in. I'm kind of terrible with little details sometimes, but I love finding a way to get sort of these nice impressions of little things like that. It's like that whole thing of trying to do just enough, but not too much. Since it is pretty faint, I won't have a lot. I won't have a lot to work there. But maybe it will connect okay. A similar scene. It wasn't this exact spot, but it was a little bit similar. Probably about a year ago, and I went to the same mountain. And I was still painting with acrylics then, so I'm curious to see. A little bit curious to compare the difference. I think it will be quite a lot different. I feel like I don't know. My painting has changed. It's evolved a bit since then, but it's still cool. It's still a cool painting. All right, so now it's time to make some more colors. So I'm going to keep trying to stick to my idea of kind of working from the middle of the value range, and So I'm going to start further back. I've got, I guess, 1, 2, 3 ridges, kind of, with some different slopes kind of intersecting them. So I'm going to start to kind of work those from back to foreground. Yeah, see how that goes. So I think for my furthest away, I'm going to go a little bit more blue. So I'm going to start, I'm going to put a little bit of ultramarine in there. I don't know, I've been into ultramarine lately. And I think I'm going to use my little round knife to start with. This one for mixing up different colors. I'm gonna do a little blue into this, maybe actually into that. I just kind of find a middle color that's a little bluer. We'll try that. Sort of start working in this peak back here. The color feels about right. Kind of just working it in. I want to try and keep this somewhat thin, but I do want to fill the canvas. So that's why I'll sometimes kind of like do a little shake like that. It also kind of keeps it from looking so flat. Like you'll get little edges that'll look a little bit more like the tree line. So I've got that one. Then I want to go just a little darker, add a little bit more blue in here. I don't want to go too far. I think a little bit of blue to start here. Try and just work this edge in. Something to always remember, even if you can't see it, just generally speaking, like as you get further away from the viewer here, you can't see warm colors as well through that distance, or I guess it actually has to do with like sort of the light or the air absorbing some of the spectrum of light, so it doesn't reach you. So you'll see further away colors will look bluer. It's an easy thing to keep in mind. It can help your perspective just look a little better. Sometimes these things can be hard to see. Trying to kind of split hairs about different colors. Just adding a little bit of green, just because I'm seeing that slightly lower. It might have even been, that's probably too much. I'll move a little to the side, go a little bit more blue. And maybe a little bit more of this purple even. There's actually a lot of different kind of intersecting colors here. I'm just kind of filling in that canvas again. I've been finding I like having the weave of the canvas there. I think I don't know, it's growing on me. Let's see, I've got a little snow spot that's open here. Should I pop it in there right now? I'm gonna think about it. Let's see. Just adding a little bit of white in here. I don't want it to be too strong, but I kind of think that having it have its place isn't a bad thing right now. So I'm kind of working forward to back, or back to forward rather. Okay. And then here I've got getting a little bit lighter and a little bit greener. So this color here, I kind of mixed a little too green. I think it will be about right now. feels a little bit light. I don't know. Kind of changes from top to bottom too. I think this top area is a little bit lighter than the area right below it. That's pretty good. And I've got a sort of darker blue line. This is definitely one of these things that's kind of all about these really, really subtle shifts, which will take a little while to really reward you for the effort, I guess. But I try to just kind of stick through it and trust that it will be worth it later. So that's looking pretty good. Take a little bit more of this. Kind of bring it in here. Pretty good. Okay. A little too strong. It's almost I gotta remember to just go back to my muddier colors in here. Don't go too big. Out into the far ranges. Okay. I've got this nice blue area here, and then sort of some whiter, deeper colors, whole mix of things. Make a little somewhat dark alizarin viridian mix, but I'm mixing it into my previous mostly alizarin kind of mud color. Just gonna start thinking about some of these trees here. I don't want to get too lost in this sort of foreground area yet, but I do just want to kind of start thinking about having this kind of sharper, higher contrast area. Let's see. I think a lot of this is particularly dark right here, kind of above these trunks. You get a little bit of this ultramarine in here. So to start making some of these sort of bluer trees here. Having some of this be a little bit sort of swirlier, not quite as mixed. Let's see. Once I go up here, I'm going to fade in a little bit more of this lighter sort of highlight color. I like how this is sort of building the depth. I'm putting kind of the top edge of my knife has the lighter color, and then like the lower edge has this darker color. Sort of hoping kind of give these trees that sort of lit up look. Getting some sort of additional layering in here too. I like how this blue is starting to kind of work in here though. I find like doing this where I'm working into my original colors, it gives just a little bit more like kind of a match for the whole thing. So I'm kind of putting some more vibrant colors in now. Kind of pushing it a little bit. I don't want to go too crazy, but just starting to see it there. Okay. Got a slope here. And that's going to actually be a lot more light blue, but not as light as my sky color. This actually might be kind of dark. And then I've got a little bit more of a shift, and I come in here. It's probably going to be my greenest, but still pretty light. Try it out. Very green. I have this little mud pile of some blue from another painting I kind of just kept in reserve. Actually, it's kind of handy. It's a bit dark. One thing that you try to do is just have enough sort of room in your values. Obviously, you can't. White paint is not as bright as white light, so you have to go a little bit darker in order to have a painting glow. I'm wondering if I might be a little bit light on this so far still. Chance to go a little darker here, because I know I want this snowy area to be able to be a bit lighter. And I feel like if I don't start building that in with some room, I won't be able to do that. ultramarine in here. Got a lot of different things going on here. I feel like it's probably more complicated than it needs to be, so I'm just kind of knocking it down and moving it around a little bit. Can always layer something else on top of it. It's kind of a nice thing about doing a wet on wet painting is you get kind of you get to keep mixing your colors on top of other colors, which makes it work pretty well. You can do other styles where you just try to mix everything sort of exactly right on your palette, which can work too. It gives a different look though. I like a painting that looks layered, and I feel like wet on wet works well for that, where you can have different brush strokes, different marks happening. Even here, I know I'm gonna have some trees kind of obscuring these peaks, and I haven't put them in yet, but I've started just kind of creating a texture that sort of feels to me a little bit like branches. It's all these little details I didn't have to really paint carefully, but it will make it kind of feel like it all makes sense together. I think I should probably get some of these blue or snow tones in. Got a little really bright white area right here too, but I might let that be for now. Let's add a little bit of white into this ultramarine-ish pile. Let's see. Add a little bit more. Let's see how bright that comes out. Go even whiter. Just had a little of that on my knife and then moved over. Grab some white. Just try it. Let's see what we got. Might be too white actually. It's still kind of a shaded area. I'm gonna put it in darker like I see it, and then I may have to shift this bit of trees a little bit that's behind it. I think that's kind of what's throwing it off, is it just those look too bright. Which I wanted to sort of fade these peaks, but I still want the slope to show. Almost looks as though this comes down and kind of turns toward us. I'm trying to get this almost like flat plane here. I exaggerated it a little bit, but I think it shows a little bit better. Did keep that really bright. Alright. That's kind of working. I think what I need to do is bring in a little bit darker blue-green right along that edge. What did I just do? Somehow ended up with a lot of different colors. Alright, so yeah. Maybe a little cobalt. I'll get some more ultramarine out in a minute. Let's see. That's obviously too. Here we go. I think these. And then going, I'm kind of pulling vertically here as I'm doing this. It gives me the impression of like the tree grows, because the trees will always grow up straight. I'm good at that. So just creating a little bit more depth in that hillside. I can angle this different ways as long as I pull up straight from here. That's looking pretty good. I think I could probably even do a bit more with that. So I'm kind of almost just mixing a little bit more of this blue in here just to get a little bit darker. It's coming along. There we go. Because this whole area was just a little too light. This area's got kind of the same issue where the snow isn't really supposed to be that bright there. But maybe I need a little bit more. Shape to this tree line too. If you think about the trunks of the trees are getting less light than the tops, so it kind of makes sense that these would have these sort of rounded looks to them. Yeah, it's coming along. All right. I'm going to try and bring some of these treetops in. They're a little bit glowing, a little bit faded, not as dark as their trunks. But I think actually maybe some of the lighter areas. Yeah, I'm going to start working that all in. Okay, so take a little bit of Viridian, a little bit of Cobalt. I want to dull this quite a bit. Messy palette. It's kind of the name of the game today. Just keep working on some of these tree shapes here. I think this is going to work because it's going to have a lot of different colors, so it's almost. I'm going to try and just kind of keep mixing some that are in the right neighborhood and then layering them in. There's not kind of one color though. That is the color here. kind of looking, the edges of these have a little bit more red to them, so I'm kind of letting some of this red from my underpainting kind of stay here, kind of mixing it in, letting it be here, because that's kind of why I put it in to begin with, was to be able to use it. So, and then as I transition away from that, I'm able to seeing a bit more of a golden tone. So I'm going to grab a little yellow ochre. I haven't brought yellow ochre into this yet. So try and put that in here, maybe a little bit more white. Let's see. It's looking too dark. There we go. It's a little yellow. It's a little gray. I think that might be kind of what I want. All right. And then I'm seeing some green, but again, not a full out green. A little alizarin in. Let's see if you mix the opposite color in, it'll dull it, but it'll also kind of give it a darker look. So mixing in the complement, and then I'm mixing in some white, and that between those two things, it should get me about where I want to go. This is still a little darker, but it's kind of perfect. So I'll just start kind of working in these tree shapes. I'll probably go a couple steps darker eventually, but this is a good start. I'm gonna let these be kind of lively. Should have mixed up more of that. Keep working it in. Let's see. There we go. Do a little bit more of that up here. Make a little bit more. Could maybe even leave it a little darker this time. Let's see. Because it's fading, it's kind of, I'm still mixing to what I have on the canvas too. It doesn't have to be, I don't have to go quite as light as I would be, because I know it's gonna give me some room. It's good to have some room. All right. Okay, as I go a little lower, I'm actually getting a lot more blue and darker. So I'm throwing a little bit of phthalo in. Stick to alizarin Viridian. Oops, I need. I'll need a lot more Viridian to balance that out, but that's okay. I'll add it. I'll do the phthalo top up as well. I got alizarin all over my hand. Not really the look I'm going for. Kind of scratching this on somewhat thin, but I want to leave it kind of loose, but I'm trying to I don't want to let kind of got a mix of different colors here now. Do a little bit more blue in there. Like, looks a little bit colder here. A little bit more vibrant. Kind of flattening out some of these trunks that I had further back. Did this with a brush on one of the recent paintings, and that worked out pretty well too. I think sometimes because I like to go and paint inside those spaces, I don't like leaving the paint really thick, especially for some of these distant trunks. It's always good to be able to sort of pull out a few important ones later, but it's looking pretty good. Let's see. Can look at it like that. It's pretty good looking knife painting. And a little bit more of this kind of alizarin. Let's see, just little bits down here where the sunlight's kind of getting through. Just kind of want them to be there. Probably cover a lot of that up. Just kind of seeing these little things going on along the edges. Another little tree over here. I kind of like it. I thought about leaving it out. It's a little funny in the composition, but I like its style. That. It's building up some of these tree shapes a little bit more now that I've got the paint under it pretty thick. These little light gaps in between the trees, though. I like. It's got a good feel. sort of fallen down trees. Gonna putting in their shapes. I'm gonna put some snow on some of them after, but for now, we'll just let it be. It's funny, there's just a point where it goes from looking like nothing to looking like something. I'm always looking forward to that. Probably everything's a bit like that, I guess. So got some. Start. Just take a little bit of phthalo. Kind of save phthalo till later because it just has such a brightness to it. But I feel like when it's time, it's time. Alright, so let's start bringing in a little bit of this snow. It's nice and I like it when it goes on nice and thick like that. Could have probably brought some wax into this, but almost feeling like I don't know if I need it in this one. It's looking pretty good. I'm going to bring in, I think for my further away, get a little bit of this ultramarine out. I think the snow back here is actually a little darker and a little bit less saturated, so I'm going to be a little crazy. I'm going to take a little of this cat red light and a little bit of ultramarine. And let's see where I end up. It's going to be kind of a mud color, but even throw in a little of that. It's a little bit on the dark side, but I'm going to try and put it in here streaky because I want to see if I can kind of get the shape of this hill in here. Kind of with all its good contours. Just gonna pop it in a little thick. Let's go. don't know, something about this little tree just cracks me up. A little darker. There we go. I'm sure there's a rule that you're not supposed to stick a tree right there. But I don't really care. Okay, I like it. I like its style. Thinking that getting kind of close to a stopping point. I'm gonna pop in with a brush just a little. I'm gonna try not to kill the life out of this, but I do just want to try and put in. Maybe this isn't even the way. I'm gonna try and just go. I'm gonna go across here. I'm trying to build up these tree trunks. They're feeling a little bit not right now. Let's see. I just want to have this feeling of these kind of planes crossing each other. I need to get some more light in here. Which I think is gonna work. It's just a matter of kind of figuring out how it's gonna work. Just kind of wobbling around here. Yeah, just trying to contour the snow a little bit here. I'm gonna bring in my lightest lights after this sets up a little bit. But yeah, it's feeling a little bit better. Okay, wash this brush out. And I'll probably do a little bit more texturing. And let it set up. I'm realizing I didn't do anything with the sky here. I think that it's fine. I think that I may do a little bit more after, but I almost don't want to make it about too many things. It's really about, this one feels like it's really about the mountains and all of their forms. So maybe it's best to just let it be that way. I'm going to touch them up with a little bit of wax too. The sky, I mean. Okay. Yeah, so a little bit of texture. Grab some fun knives for this. This one here. This one I haven't used a lot. It's pretty big, but I feel like it might, for some of these types of shadows that I see kind of coming out of the trees, I feel like it's got a good, and it'll give me a lot of texture to work with. Let's see. give me a lot of different things to work with. I can kind of look at these different hillside lines. I actually find these different spots where the trunks are coming through. Probably want to do. Thinking that they're kind of opposite of the colors I want right now, but I'm thinking that get some white here. Trying to kind of work some of the snow kind of coming out of the woods. That's level. I'm just kind of sketching things I see. Let's see if I can grab a little bit of snow. Kind of coming across that branch. Coming across this branch. Oh, maybe this one I can finish without having to wait. I'm liking how everything's kind of meshing together right now. I feel like when you're feeling it, it's probably possible to overdo it, but I might as well go with it, right? Okay, put a little bit more. Try to get these sort of feelings of these different light areas. I like this knife's kind of cool. It's got that one edge I can kind of break things with. Like that, okay. Let's get a little bit more of this white. It's looking pretty good. Pretty good. Alright, let's clean this knife off. I'm so excited I had 3 knives. It's just like to have everything ready, I guess. Alright. I thought about using this one, but I don't know. I don't really know what it does. It's got these tiny little lines in it. I think that. Yeah, I think I'm gonna use that one here. Might be good for architecture though. I have to remember that one. This guy. all these are becoming one of my favorites. I like creating these sort of trails that way. I'm going to pop into this knife for a little bit. Kind of make it a sort of purpley dark. Start putting some of these tree trunks back in that I took out. I think if I do that, then this tree line is going to look pretty nice. A little bit. Let's see. Oh, no, that might be a little wild. I'm trying to go just a little warmer as they come up closer. Just because I'm seeing more sunlight coming through here. It's not. They're dark, but they're not quite as dark. Keep this kind of nice glow to it. All right. Feels pretty good to me. Let's see. This feels a little extra right now. I'm gonna go back and forth between how much I want this to be textured and how much I want it to be smooth. And just knock it down with this flat knife a little bit. I'm gonna leave some of it pretty sharp. Idea here too. Like as it comes closer, having a little bit more texture is kind of working for it. But that little blob out of there. Pretty good. I'm gonna switch to. Now I'm feeling like I want to smooth things a little bit more, so I'm gonna just go back to my round knife a little bit, just on this furthest part of the hillside. Just give it a little bit of extra attention. So I'm gonna knock some shadows out of these trunks here. blobs. Pretty good. Okay. There we go. Some more of these little branches and sort of snow-covered edges. Let's see here. I like that a lot. I don't want this edge to look too sharp. Kind of want your eye to be able to go tree skiing if it wants to. That's pretty good though. Alright. Alright, I think I'm gonna let this one set up. Maybe, I don't know, I'm tempted to just finish it. I think it's so close. Maybe it's just nice to have this sort of life to it. The only thing that's really bugging me right now is actually the sky. As much as I didn't, maybe I just need to do it. Alright. I kind of wanted to keep it soft and thin. I feel like it's a little bit too dark right now, maybe. I'll just mess with it a little bit. Let's see if I can sort of find a way to wrap it up. No, I don't like that. I do not like that. Just kind of taking some of that out. Move over a little bit. Let it be a little. I think it could be brighter right here. I do have some clouds in here. Trying to bring in the right amount of them. Put some nice cloud shapes in. I like how the sun is kind of highlighting them right now. Try that out. Okay, that's kind of getting the right feel. I'm gonna take a tiny phthalo bit and some of this kind of original color, if it's even close at this point. I don't know. Just bring it in here. I feel like this area was too bright. I don't want it to completely blend into the mountains either, so just kind of work it all together. I think I'm gonna maybe brush the sky out a bit, just to let it be a little quieter in this particular painting. Can be a good way to a little bit of softness in. All these little color shifts are they're very subtle. So trying not to overdo them. Okay. And then here, got a little bit more of this sort of darker cloud sky color. Trying not to go not too blue. A little muddy is good. Just want to get the sense of I've got this kind of early morning cloud cover that just hasn't quite burned off yet. So it was -5 or so. I don't know. So might have been a little warmer than that. Maybe it was around 0 Fahrenheit. I don't know what that is in Celsius, but I'm sure someone can tell me. It's cold though. Alright, so okay. Putting just a little warmth in those clouds. It's a little weird. I think it's gonna be strange, but I'm feeling lucky today. So I'm gonna brush that out a little bit. Just to make it feel not so primarily. As I know, I put brown clouds in. But I think this is gonna, yeah, I'm almost looking for a lot of this detail to just disappear. Like that. Try and keep my edges of my mountains as I left them before. I like this. That kind of worked. Didn't take a lot. I'll blend out a little bit. It's a little bit more golden than I'd wanted, but I like that the sky has like a bit of warmth to it. A little bit of different things going on. Maybe mix it even a little bit more. Let's see. That at the ready, and I can just put another little highlight edge on these clouds. There we go. I wanted it to have just a little bit of, it's kind of that balance. Like I wanted it to be separate in texture, but I also wanted it to fit. I'm gonna try and just brush it out one more time. Just let it sit back a little bit more. Yeah, I think that's pretty good. And then I just want to bring a little bit, just a tiny bit of sharpness there. So see if I can make that color again. Got so many colors here. I'll just mix up a bunch of this and see where it lands. A little lighter. Just gonna work this in here. Just kind of wanted it to cut out a little bit against the sky. I think that about does it. Yeah, I didn't actually expect to do this one start to finish in one sitting, but I really like it. I think it's got fun colors and it's kind of lively. It's got the depth I was going for. I don't know if it feels quite as cold as that day, but other than that, I think it's got a good snowy feel. Yeah. Well, I hope you've enjoyed this, and I hope you have a wonderful day or night, or whatever you're off to next.